when you're leading something like a Teach for India or even Akanksha, Shahid, you have to sort of every day deliberately choose to lead with empathy, right? Whether you're happy or excruciatingly frustrated, you have to sort of put empathy front and center and allow for people to come in, allow for people to be inefficient and unsuccessful. And that's the way you sort of lead with and create a legacy that moves beyond just an individual, right? And sustains. Um, so I'm really curious to know two things. One, how do you make sure or maybe test for a little bit of that empathy to be present in those around you or in the team as you're going about creating it? And two, if we zoom out a little bit and look at the world at large, do you feel human beings are less empathetic today than we were 20, 30, 40 years ago?
Those are nice questions. I mean, on the first question, I think for me, it's always been about like the balance between empathy and care on one side of the spectrum and
Yeah.
holding a high bar and high expectations of people on the other side. And I think both of those are really important. I don't actually think it's okay to expect less of people or allow for inefficiency, because to me that's tied to belief. Like if I believe in you, then the role I need to play is holding that bar for you, and at the same time understanding that it's going to be a journey for you to get there, and it's not going to be an upward journey all the time. It is going to go up and down. And I think that's still work in progress, honestly. Like I don't think that knowing where to stand on that spectrum each day and where to challenge more, where to care more, how to challenge with care, seeing the two as sort of two sides of the same coin is a journey, I think, and an important one. I think for us at Teach for India and Akanksha as well, it was always really important to hire for and build mindsets and values, like as much as technical skills or professional skills. And I think where I've gone wrong in my journey is where I've done one or the other. I don't can bring people in just with passion and idealism, who are not ready, 60%, 70% ready to their role. But I think when you bring in people who have the technical expertise that aren't a good fit with the culture and core values of your organization, equally bad things can happen in those situations. And so what we do is we think a lot about it at the hiring stage. We actually have a whole round in the hiring process which just looks at culture and core values. And then we look at it right from onboarding, induction, to giving people ample opportunities to think about not just their growth towards outcome-focused goals, but also like how have they journeyed in the organization. And so like right now we're in the middle of our appraisals, and our appraisal conversations are very much about, did you reach your goals? And at the same time, like, how did you reach your goals? So how did you take people along with you? And I think that balance is really beautiful to try to hold. You never get it right, but I think just even asking yourself that question and knowing that you are important to hold feels like something important.
Very cool. And your take on where we are as a species?
Where we are, it's interesting. So I think we've gone too far towards the side of self. I think we will rebalance a little bit. I think it was an important journey for us to make, but I think unless self, and by self I mean my life, my goals, my job, unless that is balanced by my understanding that what matters for the other is equally important and what matters for the world is equally important, I think we're going to land ourselves in an unsustainable world. And so like I actually think it's interesting that in today's world we raise our voice more powerfully than we've ever before.
Yes.
It's a great thing, and social media enables us to have very loud voices. And yet to us, a safe space seems to be defined as a safe space for me, but not necessarily a safe space for you. So I actually don't think our empathy levels are where they need to be. I think I have a lot of self-compassion and care more than I have in the past, which is great and a result of the well-being movement and all of those pieces. But am I really able to embrace a different perspective, a different way of being, and just hold it without needing to cancel it or comment on it or, you know, convince it to be otherwise? I don't see a lot of that in today's world. I see much more polarization